Lesson for today is the digestion of food. In this lesson, we will focus on carbohydrate digestion, digestion of proteins, digestion of lipids. But before, let's make a review of the major parts of the digestive system, which are salivary glands, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, large intestine, small intestine, and without forgetting the most important accessory organs of digestive system, which are liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. As we eat food, macromolecules such as proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates must be hydrolyzed into their monomers before they can be utilized. Carbohydrates in the food are in form of glucose, fructose, sucrose, maltose, lactose, starch, cellulose, and glycogen. However, cellulose cannot be digested by humans since no enzyme exists to digest it. The enzymes that digest carbohydrates are called carbohydrases. As we chew food in our mouth, starch, which is a polysaccharide, is converted into maltose in the presence of amylase, which is an enzyme that is present in the saliva. Maltose is a disaccharide which is made of alpha glucose plus alpha glucose. After that, the maltose will enter into the stomach. It is seen that no enzyme exists to digest carbohydrates in stomach. Because stomach is very acidic, so the amylase will not function properly. After that, maltose will enter into the small intestine. Into the small intestine, the digestion of carbohydrates is completed. Glucose, which is the monomer of the maltose, it will go into the blood circulation from the villi into the blood. Digestion of proteins. Proteins are macromolecules made by amino acid. They are digested in the stomach and small intestine. As the bolus enters into the stomach, it will stimulate a hormone which is known as the gastrin. Gastrin, it will act as a chemical messenger that it will stimulate the secretion of gastric juice from gastric glands. We know that the gastric glands are made of parietal cells and chief cells. Parietal cells will secrete hydrochloric acid and chief cells will secrete pepsinogen. Hydrochloric acid, it will make possible that the pepsinogen, which is a protein, to be converted into an enzyme which is pepsin. Pepsin, it will make possible the hydrolysis of proteins. But what is hydrolysis? Hydrolysis is when we add the water molecule to a macromolecule in order to break down the peptide bonds. In this case, we are talking about proteins. So, as a result of this reaction are formed peptides. All of these steps that I mentioned happen into the stomach. After that, the chyme will enter into the duodenum. Duodenum, we know it is a part of small intestine. Since chyme is very acidic, it will make that the cells of duodenum to secrete a hormone which is called secretin. Secretin will travel into the blood and it will enter into the pancreas. It will make that the cells of pancreas to secrete pancreatic juice or pancreatic enzymes. Pancreatic juices such as trypsinogen, chemotrypsinogen, and enterokinase. Trypsinogen, as it enters into the duodenum, is converted to an active form of trypsin. Trypsin is converted, as a result of conversion from trypsinogen, it will hydrolyze the undigested proteins into peptides and amino acid. Amino acids will pass after that from the small intestine by absorption into the blood. And this is how it enters the digestion of proteins. What about lipids? Lipids are molecules that are very difficult to digest. The digestion of lipids happens in the small intestine, only in the small intestine. It doesn't occur into the mouth or into the stomach as it was with carbohydrates and in proteins. Are very complicated to digest because they are very giant water-insoluble molecules. In order to digest lipids, we need the presence of the bile and the lipase. We know that the bile will come from the gallbladder, and lipase, which is an enzyme, will come from pancreatic juice. Bile will act on fats, like detergents, to reduce the surface tension. It will break large masses of fats into small droplets. In this case, the surface area is increased. Lipase will provide chemical digestion of fats. In the presence of water, they will form fatty acid plus glycerol. And this is how digestion of lipids occurs, and it happens only in the small intestine. This was the lesson for today. As a homework, you need to complete this worksheet, and you have to click on the link below. If you have any further question, just let me know. Thank you for your time.